Welcome back, everyone. It's FNusa57 here. I'm back on Neverwinter on the Xbox One, and today we will be getting the Let's Put a Pin in It achievement. So it's part of the Mod 12 DLC in the jungles of Chult, and you have to use each type of voodoo doll that is found in Chult. Now, this achievement and the Clucky Charms achievement were both glitched until today, which they released an update on October 10th, 2017, and one of those things was it fixed these two achievements. So let's go ahead and work on them. I may or may not get Clucky Charms at the same time, just as a heads up. So first off, you are going to need each type for the Let's Put a Pin in It of voodoo doll. You'll need the undead voodoo doll, the dinosaur voodoo doll, the Yuntai voodoo doll, the Batari voodoo doll, and the chicken voodoo doll. You'll also need the chicken voodoo doll for the Clucky Charms achievement. Possibly multiple ones. Now, you get these by opening the treasure maps that you get. And you get the treasure map by completing a patrol quest and turning that in, completing the weekly ×6 quest. So you can get up to 6 treasure maps, and if you do all 6 treasure maps, that equals the possibility of up to 6 of the voodoo dolls per week. Now, what voodoo doll you get is who knows. Also, sometimes doing the tier 1 hunts will occasionally reward you with a voodoo doll as well, but it is a very slim chance. So in order to use one, what you need to do is you need to equip it to your potion tray, and it only works in Chult, and it only works on minion type enemies. So basically the weakest little trash enemies that are with the regular enemies. So I'm going to go ahead and do the undead one first. This will take a minute to do. I'll show you the easiest locations that I have found to do this. But of course, if you run into the minion type enemy and you have the voodoo doll somewhere else, then by all means go for it. The undead one, we're going to have to go over to Camp Vengeance. At least that's the easiest place that I've found to go ahead and do this. And the minion type enemy there we'll be looking for is the skeletal archers. Relatively easy enemy to deal with. So do keep in mind for this achievement, it's not an easy one to get. This is an achievement that requires a fair deal of playtime to get the maps in the first place, then the hopes of getting the correct voodoo doll from the map, and a little bit of gear on your character to actually deal with the combat required along the way. So, if you're not ready for Chult, this one you might have to put on your wish list for achievements. Sadly, it's not worth as much gamer score as the aggravation that is entailed in actually obtaining the achievement. So, it's a little disappointing there, but it is a diamond achievement, which makes you want it all the more. Now, also be careful with this camp up here. You do sometimes get the heroic encounter that spawns, and the minion type enemies will not spawn if the heroic encounter is active. So, rotten ogres, those are not a minion type enemy. It's a skeletal warrior. I'm looking for a skeletal archer. You could do that with a skeleton warrior if you wanted. It will work on them as far as I know. But ideally, I was looking for that guy right there, the skeletal archer. And bam, I just used the voodoo doll and he just up and disintegrated. So now let me kill off the enemies that are here because, well, I have to get out of combat. And the next one that we'll go do is we're going to get 2 in the same place. We're going to do the Batari voodoo doll and the dinosaur voodoo doll, because they're very easy to do. So simply change the voodoo doll that's in your inventory. I'm going to go ahead and put on the Batari voodoo doll. And we'll go over to the Batari camp. That's just over here. Now, in there, we're going to be looking for, like, the Batari darter. you'll see him in a pack of enemies. He's going to be the little minion. There's also a trained compy that sometimes shows up. That dinosaur, you can use the dinosaur voodoo doll on. And, of course, you can try to use the voodoo doll amongst the rare Batari. But when you do that, it can be kind of hard to see which Batari is which. So I wouldn't recommend trying to do it against the rare Batari. But ideally what you want to do is find a group of Batari that someone isn't killing. There's some over here off to the side that nobody usually goes after. And then what we're going to do is find the darter specifically. Ravager, Shaman. Okay, sadly there's no darter. There is a trained compy, but no darters. So I'm going to kill that batch. I believe you can use this on the, what's he called, the Shaman. I think you can use it on him as well. But I'm looking for the rare minion type too. See, there's a trained compy. So if I had the dinosaur voodoo doll, I could use it on him as well. But I don't, so I'll just go after the Shaman with it. You see, use a Batari voodoo doll. Got that complete. That was easy. He wasn't the one that I was looking for, but technically he's classified as a minion, so oh well. The rare type is the darter. And there's a darter. Now that I already killed one, one decides to show up. That's just the way that it goes. As I said, you have to have some survivability because these enemies are quite annoying, and then the voodoo dolls, of course, have a cooldown on them. Next, we'll do the dinosaur voodoo doll. As soon as that cooldown is done, try to find yourself either a Beastmaster, like one right there, with the trained compies. I'm just going to sit off to the side a second, or not. Because I'm using a lightning enchantment, it makes it hard to get the achievement. There we go. The dinosaur one is done. I targeted that little trained compy. Super simple. And we're going to do one other voodoo doll that's easy to get while we're here. And that's actually going to be the chicken voodoo doll. Which this is the voodoo doll that was glitched. And the reason why nobody was able to get the achievement before this. Because for some reason it didn't work. So again, I'm going to look for the rare minion type. Specifically the rare minion type. I'm also going to take off my lightning enchantment. Because there's no point in me having that AoE damage enchantment on. So I'm going to swap weapon sets real quick. And that'll make it a little easier because I need to target specifically that trained compy. And that's actually really hard to do when somebody else brings regular compies over to you. So target the trained compy. It turns into a chicken. You get the little turn the dinosaur into a chicken thing. Which I should also mention that with this voodoo doll, you will need like 4 of the chicken voodoo dolls to get the Clucky Charms achievement. And that's because you need to turn one of each of the rare enemy types into a chicken. It's weird. The Clucky Charms achievement says that you only need 1, or it just says use it against the rare minion type. It doesn't say that you need to use it against all 4. So the 4 rare minion types are going to be the trained compies, the Batari darters, the skeleton archers, and the Yuntai swordsmen. Which the place that I found for the Yuntai swordsman is really easy to just go across the map over here and go to the Yuntai, the remnants of their camp. It's actually where you have to go for a quest, relatively simple, and try to run around in there until you find a Yuntai swordsman. Now there is another type of minion Yuntai, but you'll specifically be looking for the Yuntai swordsman, assuming you're using those, well, chicken voodoo dolls. But the problem is, I only have 3 chicken voodoo dolls, so I can't exactly show you that right this second. Anyways, we're right here at the camp. Now you'll see there's Yuntai warriors, which will work for the purposes of this voodoo doll. It doesn't have to be the Yuntai swordsman. The Yuntai swordsman is the rare spawn. Where's my Yuntai? Actually, no. I can't use that on the warrior for some reason. That's the wrong one. I need... where are you? Never mind, I got feared. Again, like I said, it's going to take a minute for you to do this achievement because you have to deal with all of these enemies. So your character actually has to be geared slightly for combat. This is one of the harder achievements, and the reason why I saved the Yuntai one for last, because the Yuntai are the most annoying. They constantly have a control effect that they can apply to you, and they can do quite a bit of damage. So you want to try and stay back and find the rare minion type. So you want to find that swordsman, that Yuntai swordsman. There he is. See? Got a Yuntai swordsman. Voodoo doll, Yuntai voodoo doll complete. And there is our let's put a pin in it achievement. Took a minute to do, one of the slightly longer ones, but definitely worth the wait, even though it can be a little bit annoying. So all you have to do is get the treasure maps, get the voodoo dolls from the treasure map, and then find the rare minion type. I don't know why it didn't work on the little warrior. I thought I could use it on him, but I guess not. You have to find the swordsman for it. So, in any case, hopefully the guide helped you out. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, by all means leave a comment. Otherwise, smash the like button, share the video with a friend, and of course, subscribe for more content. Until next time, stay frosty.